Hi guys, welcome to another Smartpreneur Live with me, Tallulah. Please do join. Our guest today is Tiwa Works. His real name is Tiwa Aganga Williams. Let us see if Tiwa Works is with us, and then I'm gonna add him. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Our topic today is my experience as an entrepreneur coping with the pandemic. Let me move my tripod a little bit. We're going to be talking to Tiwa Works about how he's coping as an entrepreneur. Hi, I'm from Atlanta. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Hello. Okay, Tiwa Works is with us. Oops, sorry, let me add. Let's go live. Okay. He's about to join. Hi, thank you for joining from Atlanta. That's very exciting. Tiwa Works. Are you here? Okay, we're just waiting for him to join. So if you guys have any questions for Tiwa Works, please do write them, and then I'll put them to him as we're going through in our discussion. Okay, I think the network is a little bit slow, but he'll be joining us in just a few moments. So how have you guys been? How's business? How's life? How are you coping with the COVID pandemic? I hope you guys are staying optimistic and staying very positive. Drop me one word in the comments to let me know how you're doing. Hi, Tiwa, how are you? Let me turn up the volume so I can hear you better. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Fine. I feel like half my head is cut off. Sorry, let me just move my tripod back a little bit. Is that better? Oh, wow.
Down.
This is like being a proper cameraman. Is that okay? I think
Right.
that's better. Yeah?
How you doing? Long time.
I know, it's been a minute. It really has been a minute. And last time that we saw each other, all this madness had not started in the world.
We couldn't even fathom what's coming. Like, we're all enjoying our dirty December. And
Yes. I know, out of the blue, we're now faced with this worldwide pandemic. So let me read your bio before we sort of get into our questions and get into our chat, if that's okay.
Sure.
So you are Tiwa Aganga Williams, known as Tiwa Works. You are the founder of the Atlanta Greek Picnic, and it is the largest summer event for Black fraternities and sororities, which draws more than 25,000 people. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, 25,000 for the last 15 years.
Oh, wow. That's definitely a whole lot of people. Okay, so it also says the annual AGP is one of the largest gatherings of college-educated graduates in the world, and you are a British-born, like me, I like that, British-born business mogul, reputed for successfully organizing multiple world-class events and parties, like All Black Everything, which I try and go to every year. Your tickets are a bit hard to come by, I have to say.
I got you. Don't worry. We're going to have you this year. Hopefully this year.
Okay, awesome. Now that I have my personal connect, I'm feeling good about that. And you're also a real estate firm owner who also founded the AGP Foundation, a non-profit organization that channels the funds raised from the annual Atlanta Greek Picnic for good causes. Fantastic. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
So, I didn't even know where to start. You do so many diverse and varied things. But I think first I just want to talk to you about how it's been during this COVID period, how you've been able to sort of stay positive, and in terms of business, how you're coping in terms of all the different things you do, the picnic, the events, the real estate. How are you sort of coping with everything during this period?
Man, I mean, I'll be lying to say it's not tough. I mean, there's not any kind of directive, guidebook, or experience from anybody, unless you were born 100 years ago plus. We talk about the Spanish influenza, to be able to know what to prepare for in this period. It's been very challenging, but I think for every entrepreneur, challenge is something that we're all used to. It's the ability to be able to go through. Success is called be able to go through failure after failure after failure. That's what is success. So this pandemic time is literally just another road bump. And, my thought process has been very positive through this period. It's, we're going to make it through, but this is a need to do any type of restructuring, stabilization of yourself, your mental health, your physical health, your business. This is the time, and I've been doing that for the last literally 9 weeks. And I say that because specifically with the picnic event, I got out of college. So I graduated in 2003. In 2004, I started. This is the first time in 15 years I've literally had a break.
Wow.
You know, this business has been ongoing. So I've literally taken this time, you know, not to really wallow. I mean, I was a little bit distraught that something so big has literally knocked everybody. It's not like it's just an American thing or it's it's globally, you know, and people are losing their lives. But I just realized that we just have to make sure at this time, like being very conscious of your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health is what's going to propel you to next level. And once you kind of get yourself a bit more, life have to. It's not like, oh, we just had a malaria and they found a vaccine. No, life as we know it, top to bottom, no matter where you are, has changed. So we have to now do, and the key word I'm sure everybody talks about is pivot.
Pivot,
You have to be able to trim off the fat. You've got to really reassess everything top to bottom and know that life is different, business is different. So that's what's been happening for me since we had our lockdown. You know, we just lifted it a couple of weeks ago. But I'm still not out there like everybody else is because you know, again, history, there's the first wave, then there's the second wave. So you just have to be very, very conscious and just be aware of what's happening.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that you talked about the your mental health, you know, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. So I think that's something that people are almost unknowingly suffering, you know. They are taking blows to their mental health. People are getting depressed. People are feeling uncertain about the future, but they're not able to really express it, you know, because it's almost like if you're not sick, then thank God you're not sick. Just kind of roll with it and try and make the best of whatever is in front of you right now. But I think it goes beyond that for a lot of people. So I'm really, really glad that you touched on that. And, you know, it's funny that you mentioned, because I know that you live in Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I saw something online today. It was actually, I was like shocked. It was some kind of party happening in Atlanta. Did you see that on Today? Was it just me?
It's crazy. It's been happening like every weekend for the last 3 weeks. Like people are really and that's part of the whole, when you've been quarantined for 8+ weeks, you know, people I think they lose their minds as well. They kind of forget how you are quarantined, and you know, people are gathering on the bridges, they're doing drag racing, they're doing crazy things. And it's just a testament of that first and second wave. And you just have to be really smart in these times. You don't want to, I mean, I'm you know, I work from my home, my office is a mile from here, but at the same time, I've been feeling cabin fever. Yes, I want to be out, but it's not worth it at this current moment because we don't know what happen. Nobody has the answers. So it's better to be safe than sorry. But Atlanta, Florida, Houston, they're all tripping. Everybody's wilding out. Yes.
I don't know what to say, but I can sort of understand. Like you're saying, you do get cabin fever being at home all the time, and
trust me,
I don't know, being a human being is kind of complicated, but it's all good. It's all good. So let's talk about the Atlanta Greek picnic. Let's talk about why you started, how it sort of developed into this kind of, you know, huge event that draws 25,000 people, and the fact that it's been postponed this year due to what's happening with COVID. How were you able to make that decision? And also, how do you intend to sort of recoup the losses? Are you planning on having it later in the year maybe, or is it just going to be postponed until next year?
Sure. So Atlanta Greek Picnic, to kind of give a back history, I pledged Kappa Psi in the fall of 2000 at my university, Georgetown Western State University. Kappa Psi is one of 9 divine organizations. We were founded in 1911. Pretty big Black organization, and being able to join this such an honor, and I was able to grow and develop network. I learned so much physically part of this brotherhood that spans across the whole world. We've got a chapter actually in Lagos, Nigeria.
Awesome.
And so with that, we just decided that, you know, when I graduated college, we were doing events and hosting things and kind of learned a lot of hands-on business experiences while in school. And it's funny because my major is computer information systems. And because I was get this raw access to doing business and have this opportunity my junior year in college, you know, everybody was literally, oh, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm following my father's path. I'm going to create a computer company. I'm going to do this. But I found this entrepreneurial flame lit up in college doing events. and I was really good at it. I mean, I was generating a lot of revenue, more than some people were making in a week, one night.
Wow.
So kind of understanding that, just realizing that this is a big opportunity to grow something and really take it seriously, you know, to really make it into a big brand. Graduating in '04, when I moved back up here, you know, there was a lot of demand. People were saying, hey, we should do something, host an event, help what you do, branding, everything is amazing. And the Greek Picnic was born in the summer of 2004. And literally, all we did was literally just integrate everything from networking, relationships, and branding, and everything about a business or a brand that starts from zero with no capital. Had a goal. Okay, what are we going to achieve in the next 5 years to 10 years? And we're very happy to say that we've hit every single success point. We started with 300 people, 300 grew to 1,000, 1,000 grew to 5, 5 grew to 10, grew to 20, and kind of really just understanding the make of why people are coming, and with especially a city like Atlanta that has such rich history with Freaknik, a lot of big black festivals happen here, you know, and then you study, you know, I always believe you have to study whatever industry you're in, why certain things before you make it into your time period, and kind of understanding that the lineage, which if was controlled properly, could be the biggest black festival in the world, because we're doing crazy numbers in the city. So understanding that, we find that festival turned it up a different notch, and we took off. I think really we took off really in 2013, 2012, 2013. Social media was in, we were on every platform, and we just built a brand that had never been seen before. And part of our success is not just, you know, what we did successful as a company, it's always our give back. So with our AGP Cares program, AGP Foundation, we donated well over 110,000 people, $1,000 to a lot of nonprofit. We recognize them at our shows. We donate to them. We support social justice initiatives, you know, community service projects. And we just wanted people to understand that we're not just here to, yes, it's good to make profit, but we want to be impactful in society as well. And we chose entrepreneurship with kids and nonprofits primarily because we wanted these kids who are going to grow up in the next 5 to 10 years. And majority of these students are going to go into a black fraternity or sorority. And the give back is, they remember what we did for them, how impactful our donation, our service, or whatever we did for them.
Yeah.
And we've had, no lie, come back to me and say, I remember when you came to our nonprofit and you donated, and I joined this organization, and I just had to say thank you. Like you did. You
that's amazing.
That's amazing. So we just felt that, you know, AGP, we took it seriously from the start. So going into this year, last year was a huge turnout. I mean, it rains in Atlanta, and people stood in the rain. Like, that's how much they. So we're building all these relationships now with the banks. We're building with brands and big Fortune 500 companies because we have this influential space. And the great thing about this is that we've got a lot of Africans, Nigerians are part of these organizations. So kind of when they now see Tiwa, hey, they get so excited.
I can imagine.
Like, we're coming to Lagos, you know. Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing that we've built. And, you know, we've gone through different challenges. You know, we went through multiple things in the past, but we always overcame it because it was really about the team that we built together. We're a family. The AGP team, it's about 45 of us. We're literally a family. I even tell my team, like, look, I might be the owner, I might be the CEO, but I'm not going to put myself above you. We work together. I want your interests. I want your ideas, because there are people who've been with me for 10 years. So we always build this family networking. Because our company doesn't grow without our team. It's beyond me now. It's now in a legacy mode. So
I love that. I love that. I love that. And sorry to interrupt you, but you saying so many things in my head is kind of just spinning with lots and lots of questions. So I know there's people who, you know, are watching, who admire you, admire what you do, admire the quality of your events, the dedication that you put into them, and also the, you know, the outcome, the fact that people do flock to your events and do want to be there. I mean, I remember that All Black Everything, I think, started about, I moved back to Lagos about, I think, 7 years ago. And I remember I came for Christmas and everyone was talking about All Black Everything. And I grew up in the UK, so I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is that? We have to get tickets. You know, it was like a whole thing. I was like, okay. And I remember, where was it? It was somewhere, I can't remember where it was that year anyway. But anyway, we went, it was amazing, all had a good time. and it's just gotten better and better since then. So I want to just, I want you to talk to people who are in the event space, who are trying to build up their events to have that sort of reputation where people hear this person is doing an event and automatically they want to be there, they want to be part of it. What are some of the sort of elements that you keep in mind when putting together your events so they're successful?
The biggest thing I always tell everyone is that, your events are a direct representation of you. So however you treat people, how you interact with people, and how you make people feel, events are an experience. So people want this good feeling. They want, when they think of you or think of their event, they get this euphoric feeling about themselves, like, I got to be there, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to be properly organized. They value me. Even if there is a problem, they resolve this problem. And, people don't lie. Like, the great thing about an event, people in event business is 90% of the people you don't get to personally know them. They may know of your brand, but they personally don't know you. And that speaks to testimony built in your company. So for anyone that wants to get in business or is in the business, you have to always remember it's people first. You have to be very cognizant of that and be able to know that as you grow every day in this business, you have to really invest. You have to take time, do what you expect, what would make you feel good. If it's the one somebody call, and don't feel, like people sometimes will get into business and, you're in it for 3 years, you're popping and you get an ego. Like, oh, I'm this. And guess what? As quick as you rise, as quick as you can fall.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed that with everything we've done, All Black just crossed 11 years,
Wow.
AG 15. And that's just testament, because again, we treat every year like it's a new year. It's not like, oh yeah, last year was amazing. No, this year is brand new. Like we treat like it never happened. So what do we need to do? Who do we need to talk to? How do we bring people in here? How do we keep selling? So that's, I think, is really basic. It's not really complex. It's just how you feel people should be treated, how you like to be treated, and people buy into you.
Into you, yeah. I love that. I never thought of it that way, because you always feel like there's some set of rules that you have to follow. But I love that you kept it simple. There's no secret or big deal about it. It's just being genuine and being open to feedback as well. So I want to talk about the fact that you're an investor as well.
Yes.
You invest in different businesses.
Yes,
I want to talk about the type of businesses that you invest in, number one, and then also because you do business across the US, Europe, and Africa, Nigeria.
Yes.
So what are the differences in those three business climates that you've noticed?
So, so we start with Nigeria and Africa. K-leg factor is just, Nigeria is just, look, if you in Nigeria in any type of business, you are going to be bulletproof enough to survive anywhere in the world. Nigeria is not an easy, but it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? You will not just feel good, but you've achieved a level of success that, most people would never do. Some people quit in the first year. And exactly, again, an event like ABE and TeamWorks Nigeria, I just came back home after so many years just because I wanted to build something. And consistency is the key. It's not, we've had challenges, don't get me wrong. There's been times I've felt like we needed to stop. It's over. But, kind of when you settle down and just kind of revamp everything, you realize that, look, it's part of the journey. Everything's a journey to get to this next step. And, we've outlasted major everybody. But outside of that, in America, doing business here, the playground is a bit different. You are able to do 1 + 1 is 2. You know what you're going to get. There's no story. There's no long thing. If you order something, it's going to be here. And it's just a structural system. So America gives you that kind of foundation. If you put in the work, the result is going to be there. You don't have to niche think too much about it. There's a need, there's a supply, there's a demand. You can fill that.
Okay.
And for us, looking at, we've done things with startups where the opportunities where, for instance, now we're big investors in a company I continuously promote known as Popcom. Popcom is a digital solutions for vending machines smarter in terms of integration and compliance and just everything as is. It can be multitask. So I saw the opportunity not only because the CEO is a friend of mine, but I believed in the product, believed in her. Again, I bought into her because I know I've seen her over the last 13, 14 years, all the entrepreneurial endeavors, and we invested in her last year, and we're a big supporter of her. And for us, we always look for opportunities where we can see there's a potential rate for growth. It's solving a problem. Once you can find something that's solving a problem before like you get to the stage or whatnot, that's where you can literally make an impact. And that's why now I use my social media to kind of educate others. Hey, these are opportunities finding. No, you have to pay me price, but which is why we now built our investment firm. So we can kind of make sure people have access, because everybody doesn't have the time to figure it out, but they're looking. And, you know, we're happy to be part of that. Same for England, you know, e-commerce business, where with COVID has proven to us that we're in the digital revolution. If you haven't realized that by now, it's here. You know, if you're not part of it, you're going to be left behind. Like, life has changed. Life is never going to go back to what we did or knew 4 months ago, or actually life. We have to be prepared for this e-commerce boom. And that's, I'm sure everybody in the world has really understood. And if you pivot heavy in that direction, you know, then you're able to kind of regroup yourself. And there's going to be a boom going to 2021 when the settles, you know, when there's a cure, whatever the case may be. So those are the lot of things that we're doing. We're not very, you know, we're not super risky investors, but we're smart. We think about opportunity and needs. You know, agriculture is big in Nigeria. We think about that. People need to eat. People need population growing. So if you can just get a percentage of that market, tech is big. If you can find a service product, events are still going to be big regardless of what anybody says. People want that human interaction. Invest in that, all that life experiences. So that's pretty much a nutshell what we do.
Okay, so I want to talk about, I love everything you've said, but I want to talk about investments in the context of Africa and specifically Nigeria, because I know that in the US there's so many different organizations that support startups and support founders, you know, for people of color, for women, you know, there's so many organizations out there. But when it comes to Africa, Nigeria specifically, it seems that that level of support isn't really there. So as an investor, because I know there's some people who are on here who are like, oh, I have an idea and I want to get investment perhaps from you, perhaps from another investor. So what sort of organizations can these people join? How can they access funding? How can they access, you know, VCs, investors? Is there a sort of route? I would like you to just expand on that for us, please.
So what a lot of investors are always looking for, number one, is traction. You know, people want to minimize risk, and they want to know that, one, you're also heavily invested in your own product. So if your product needs $100,000 of cash to protect it, you were able to raise even 70%, 80% of it in your own business. That shows you have skin in the game. You're willing and ready to lose. Not that, hey, I need an investor to just cut me a check and build my idea. Nobody. They want to see, one, you invested your own cash, you're getting market share and moving. Your product is doing what you say. When people see that taking turns, and guess what? You're getting interviewed by the press, everybody's talking about your product organically, you're everywhere. Investors kind of can see the spark. Okay, you have what it takes. Then they'll come look for you. I'm telling you this, sometimes you don't have to go looking for these people. People start coming to you, and that will tell you you've got something really big. And then it's not a negotiation part. You know, definitely anybody else, you have to be part of any ecosystem of, you know, that accelerator program. There's a couple in Nigeria. I can't remember the one, but I've been to a couple. Like I went to the Andela one. I've been to when there's another big that came down, Michael Steeble came down, and they've invested $10 into Nigerian companies. But sometimes there's a fintech side, because fintech is served in Nigeria, and we have the number. It makes sense, and it's a small investment over a long period of time. So when you start thinking of anybody that has a great idea, I just tell you, just start from the scratch. You have to do the work. You have, I mean, and it's not, don't expect, like, you know, people think that you're going to get rich in, like, oh yeah, 1 year I'm going to get bought out for $20 million, and no, you may do 8 to 10 years, you know, and you have to believe in your product. That's an amazing story to tell any investor. Yes, I've done this for 10 years by myself. We have revenues. Even if your revenue is $100,000 or $10,000 profit every single year, in their mind, they're thinking, if I give you $2 million, we can scale to $300 million. And I manage, and we can go to market, we can sell. So that's, you know, and I think I just want a lot of people to just be very mindful that when you ask investors to be a part of it, what have you invested yourself? You know, your sweat, your own money, your time. What have you solved problems on your own? What has been your story? That's how investors jump on board at anything you're doing.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for answering that in depth, because I feel like, like you said, a lot of people have this perception of like, 1 year I'm going to get rich. All I need to do is get someone to just bring small money and we're going to just blow. But I guess it's more realistic to think
Yeah.
long term. So I'm happy that you mentioned that. So I want to talk about back to you as an investor, as an entrepreneur. And I want you to tell us about some of your worst moments, because, we see you two and we see all the success, we see all the glory, and we think, oh, fantastic, this is amazing. But I know that there must have been some challenging times that you've had to sort of scale through to get to where you are today. And I'd just like you to give us maybe 1 or 2 examples of those for everyone who's watching.
Favorite story I like to tell is my day one, when I moved from college and I came back home. And again, I was coming off a success from college where I was making more money in one night of partying and DJing than some people were making in a week at a 9 to 5. So I was very motivated that, hey, we can continue to scale. And I decided to book a Rockefeller artist at the time who was signed to the label in Israel. I loved him. I was like, yo, his music is dope. Everything is crazy. And I got contacted by his manager and said, hey, let's find a date we can pick and we can promote. And again, I had just come off of one of the Greek picnics, so I had invested into it. I said, okay, we can make this happen. Got a venue, got everything promoted, and my parents even showed up because they were excited. They were excited. My aunts were there. Everybody had their sections. People were visiting me in my hotel room. So I felt, yo, we are going to pop tonight. I can tell you how many people walked in here that day. Nobody came. Nobody showed up. The artist came. He sat down, got his drinks, got his money, and he bounced. I said, hey, I'm sorry it didn't work out. But again, I signed a contract. He had to be paid. He's not in business if nobody shows up or doesn't. And so I took a big loss that night. And literally was sick to my stomach. I wanted to throw up. I seen stars. Everything was just blurry. That was my first financial loss in this business. And I remember my mother came across the street. It was in Buckhead, sat down with me and like, good night, Jam mother. She rubbed my back, said, baby, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody loses money. I want you to just understand that you've paid for a lesson. And I looked at her like, what? Mama was like, yeah, you paid for a lesson. It cost you over $10,000, but I guarantee you won't take it. You will do whatever you need to do to ensure your path, you don't make the same mistakes. You look at everything top to bottom. You don't that because you've had successes before, which is not my new model. No matter how much success or what I've done in the past, that's the past. We're going forward. So everything going forward is like, we want to make sure we're in alignment and we're not missing any pointers will give us a loss. And I'll be happy to say since then, and this was like 2006, I've never did of that level of financial loss and just hurt, And it woke me up as an entrepreneur to realize like, this is the real life. Like, bro, they don't teach you this.
Yeah.
So, and the second perfect example wasn't necessarily financial loss, but it was also just contractually understanding that, people, you can't go in business. Hey, everybody does not have good intentions. I don't care who they are. If anybody is in business with you, put it on paper, sign. Even if you don't have a lawyer right there. See what I agreed to so and so. I sign, you sign. Boom, boom, boom. You get a copy. And I've had mistakes in the past where I didn't sign contracts and there was a disagreement. And luckily for me, I just happened to minutes of their meetings and things that they've done in the past and then became, oh, I created this, it's my name, I did this, and luckily I had these that protect me. So now going forward, anything we do, I just need you to document. I just need you to be on point because it just clears any. That's a key word, understanding. Contracts clear that. So those were the two things.
Okay, thank you. That's actually really insightful. And I love that you talked about the signing, the legal aspect of it. So I think sometimes in the excitement of great ideas and entrepreneurship, people are just thinking of going full steam ahead and making a great idea happen and not necessarily thinking of protecting their intellectual property, trademarks and things like that. So I think, it is actually very important. So now let's touch on going global, because you are global. How likely is it, do you think, it is for Nigerian brands, Nigerian products and services to go global? Because as you know, the Naira has devalued a lot recently,
Yeah.
which has a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses thinking about earning in Forex in order to sort of protect their money, protect their investment. But
Very
I know that, in terms of like in the US, there's the FDA, there's all these different organizations that are very strict about food, drink, products, as opposed to Nigeria. I mean, I know we have NAFDAC, but it's different rules and regulations. So how likely is it for Nigerian companies to scale globally to other countries, both in terms of Europe, the US, Middle East, and beyond?
I think it's very very doable. Look at the landscape of business. Like Nigeria and Africa are on the map every single day. Thank a lot of the musical and cultural aspect where African culture and Nigerian culture are big right now. We are in the front of like, so this momentum is perfect for anybody who wants to put things before night. Despite the little minor 419 things, Nigerians' image globally is more positive than it was maybe 10, 20 years ago. So businesses that want to scale and they kind of see the opportunities where we're creating products in Nigeria, great Nigerian products. I mean, I've been to a lot of fashion, just look at fashion alone. The products that are being made are now being featured in Vogue. All these designers are getting variety. They're getting, Nollywood is getting onto Netflix platforms. We're exporting these things, but now the physical product is time to move. And really and truly, it's just for, again, very basic business. People have to have faith that this product is doing so well in Nigeria, is ready for the world to be a part of it. So it's now your distribution channels, your supply and demand chain, your FDA regulations, making sure that you're compliant. And also, it's again about collaborations. I feel like a lot of us Nigerians and Africans, Black people in general, like to kind of stay way. Oh, it's me, 90%, 100%, all me. No, give up equity, give up percentages, allow investments to come in, because you can't grow without it. You need to be able to take this to the next level. And so if you're feeling like, yep, I'd rather make $1 million and keep 100%, or you can make $2 billion and you have 20%. So I think a lot of companies should really just, again, it's collaborations. Find the counterparts in America that can make your life easier, who are providing solutions for us to do business in America, who can that if we export it, we can get it distributed here to all these African stores, all these stores that can pick it up. Social media has given us the access to be able to put products in front of everybody now. Now you distribution channels, you run your advertising. These solutions are now there in place. You can pick it up from mom and pop store here, or you get a deal. You find to get a deal with you for Kroger or Publix, and that would be huge. Again, media alone, publication to say this product made in Nigeria can be bought in Publix, which has 1,000 stores across America, and the Africans and Nigerians love this product. I mean, they're selling Bounty, which is a British brand, in Publix. So that can tell you that we are definitely ready for that, but we just have to do all these collaborations. We have to stop being scared of that jump. We're always just so, well, I'm enjoying my money, small. No, you did this. So like people are like, if you look at a Jeff Bezos, he's making billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Why? Because a lot of us are still thinking very small.
Small, yeah. No, I love that. You made me laugh actually, because I know people who are like that. So I just had a bit of a chuckle.
So they're so scared to jump. They don't want, small boy, small girl, I don't have to give you my money. No, like we know what's happening, and you don't want to miss that momentum.
Yeah. No, very, very, very true. Very true. So I think there's some questions for you. So I have to kind of reach over now. I'm just trying to tap this. Okay, sorry. I have to actually bring this closer to me. So someone is saying, why is it so small? Goodness gracious. Sorry. Okay. As a business, can you see it on the screen? As a business owner, have you considered restructuring or changing your businesses or your business focus? We have an Atlanta, Lagos men's. I can't read the rest. Can you read the rest of it?
No, it stops at men's.
We have an Atlanta, Lagos men's business called. Okay, let's just take the first part since we can't do the second part, which is, have you considered restructuring your business, I guess, in light of COVID and everything that's happened?
Yeah. Oh, I have pivoted heavily. Like, I was one of, again, because I've been planning my festival since last year, October. Since before I even came to Nigeria, I've been planning for this year since last year. We literally have taken some major losses. However, again, because we're thinking long term, and it is part of business, and luckily on this side of the pond, the government are kind of helping in some degree. The states are some type of relief. And also the great thing about it, again, my customers are understanding that it's not our fault. We were scheduled for another amazing year, and things just pivoted. But I think the biggest thing I learned is that we have to pivot in digital times and COVID time. It has made, like, we were planning with my team last year, what can we do? Because again, I don't like to feel like this is just the path. I feel like we always had to be 10 steps ahead of the next. Okay, what does 2030 look like? That's in 10 years. Crazy to fathom. But what does 2040 look like for this festival? Be going to the 100,000. And we now realize that we had to pivot to our e-commerce brand. Like, we had been slacking for a long time. We've launched, we were happy to have launched maybe a week ago. Revenues have started coming in. We're building, it's getting notoriety. And
so what is the what is the e-commerce brand? Is it merch or what is it?
Yeah, so e-commerce is merchandise. So we're selling t-shirts, we're working on hoodies, and we're going to build out a whole collection of lines, to everything from socks to curtains to floor mats. Again, and I say that we have a market already that has been established for the last 15 years. We should have been selling. Yes, we did. We should have. However, now this opportunity has presented itself. We have nothing but time right now. Like, we're not going to have our festival in June, which is in 2 weeks. Actually, they were supposed to have started. We're supposed to start. We're just going to pivot now towards an e-commerce. And e-commerce gives us the ability and flexibility to, one, we're trimming down all our costs. Everything that was physically expensive and the opportunities, the internet is the way. If you're not on it, you are losing out, especially in these times. You have to figure out something. Even if you're teaching a course, you're selling something, or you're educating, or you're just mentoring, there are many things right now. Life is not going to go back to the regular brick and mortar stores. So for us, we just wanted to go and restructure everything top to bottom. Even now we're thinking about what's going to happen in Nigeria this December. Are people going to fly back? Are people going to go to Ghana when we host events? Life has changed. So we have to now pivot. And we're doing that pivot with our conferences that are coming up. We want to really educate. We want to focus on education between now and when we open up, because people are paying for education right now. Yeah. Everybody's asking, what can I do? What can we do? So you have to have many people. I've spoken on at least 4 different conferences in the last 2 months. Just answer the question, what can we do to make sure that we don't miss out on this whole wave and direction? We want to make sure that we're thinking outside the box. We're thinking bigger. We're trimming all the fat, and we're basically adapting and pivoting. If you don't adapt and pivot, you're going to be left behind in a year. Wow,
that's powerful. If you don't adapt and pivot, you're going to be left behind in 1 year.
In a year, when that boom, when the country or the world's open back up, it's going to be such a big boom. And if you were not prepared between now and then, you've missed out on a whole new generation, on a whole new digital revolution. And I know so many people that are doing such amazing numbers. And anybody who's watching, follows me. So this morning alone, I'd shared a story with a friend of mine who was talking about his negotiation power because he's selling 265,000 shirts a month, one brand. So he started talking about making 100, and I know him personally. So I was motivated, and before we got on, I'd been talking to him like, well, bro, you just really motivated me. Like, you are moving that many units in a month. And he said, yes, I'm only operating at 10% capacity.
Wow.
So it's possible. Like, people are making a lot of money digitally. I know a girl in London that's doing $300,000 a month doing hair.
Wait, selling hair?
Selling hair, $350,000 a month.
$300,000? I just want to make sure I got the amount correct.
$50,000 consistently.
Wow.
Online. Another friend is doing about $200,000 a month right now.
Wow.
A good friend. So again, me, I like to follow the dollar. So if the dollar is saying, I'm redirecting, and everybody, and the great thing about these network of friends I have, everybody tells me, like, Tiwa, you have the audience, you have the people, you have the idea, you have the brand. It's your turn. That's what everybody says. So for us, currently we are restructuring completely, so we too can jump into 300K a month. Not just one festival. We're consistently fulfilling the supply and demand need.
That's so interesting. I want to touch on what you said. I'm sure a lot of people out there. I'm sure you have more questions now. I'll be right there more so I can ask you.
All day. I have my time.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the fact, what you said is so interesting to me, because there is a perception that, during COVID, people are not really spending on things like hair or apparel. It's more about, food and maybe logistics and things like that. So obviously that is not really, the case. And so how would you say people who are online, selling online, watching right now, thinking, that money sounds sweet. Me too, I want to get a piece of that pie. What can they do to up their numbers? Is it about upping their social media presence, Google ads, hiring maybe a digital marketer to do their digital marketing in a more professional and structured way? Or what ideas would you give them to be able to boost their earnings from online products?
I'll tell you this. So I have a friend that does fitness program. Does a fitness brand, resistance band, and I've learned a lot from her in the last couple of months on it. And one thing I do realize is not necessarily what price is. Some at $69 up to $100 and something, $150. The price point is not the issue. It's your brand story. What are you selling as your brand? Again, people buy into you. What are you selling? What is your story? Where did you start? How did you get here? What are you going? Where are you going? If you can position all these things in a website, Shopify page, and you tell a brand story of why you're solving a problem, what's your mission, your vision, why are you better than everybody else, and what are you putting out? Are you shipping fast? Are you giving delivery products? People will spend $50 for a shirt. People are spending $300 on t-shirts, basic t-shirts. So again, why are they doing it? Because the brand has been telling a great story. It's strong. It's built a community, an audience, and a fan base around it. Support the product. People will buy from you every single day. We have something great, So I just want people to understand that it's not just about raising your price, but also, are you doing great marketing to tell your story? If you're doing great marketing to tell your story, people will continue to tell your story as well. Like I will like my friend who did the I did investment in her startup. She tells a great story. When you hear her pitch, she will win every pitch competition in the world because her story is amazing. So everybody should always know it's not just, I'm selling a brush, selling hair, come on buy. No, why is your hair better than everybody else? What is so different about you? And if you can connect with your audience, especially during COVID times, yes, people may not be money circulating, but people still have cash to spend. Again, it's a numbers game. If your product is $50 and you get 3,000 people to buy within a month, and you can continuously service those people with more products and engagement, you're going to sell. Randomly found this one girl on Twitter about 3 weeks ago, on Friday morning. I was up, and you know how Twitter's notified somebody retweeted this, and I looked at it, and I watched this girl make $1 million in 8 minutes. And these are they're not huge brands. They're not, they're not in stores. They're online. And that's telling you something. People are buying into their product. There's a lot of empowerment going on. And people are like, look, I'd rather give my money to this small organization. I like your products. Yes, it's $20 or it's $25. However, again, people have bought into her and her story. And then she keeps that. And the best thing I saw her do was
to continue. Know this girl. The Moon, is it the Moon Cosmetics?
Yeah. A little cosmetic product.
Yeah, the rose oil stuff that she does.
Yeah.
Her. I saw it, yeah.
It was in 8 minutes. And my mind was, I've seen so many success stories like that. So it tells you, people want to hear your brand story. And then you have to be able to utilize your social media. I always tell people, your social media should not just be about you watching and laughing and joking. You don't want to be the butt. Not that to say it's anything wrong with it. Take time out for yourself for that. But use your social media to literally engage and sell, and that's what we've been doing in all our new companies now. Even our real estate company, we're pushing our, my mindset was before, we can't move this product. But now with social media, we're advertising every day. We're getting visitors. We will sell. The times have changed. So you have to pivot heavily. You can't just continue to think how you used to think 5-6 months ago. You have to really focus more on this engagement, your marketing, your team, and be able and reach people that are expertise in it. Even if you have to pay them for that consulting, $100, $500, $10, whatever, you will see that back in revenue because they've been there, they've done it, they've made it happen, And again, collaboration. The thing I love with so many people is they'll find an idea, you come together, again, terms and sheets of agreement, and you figure it out. Because again, 20%, 80% is better than 20% of zero. I mean, to 80%, 100% of zero. So work on these collaborations, continue to research and see what other people are doing, because you don't have to change the wheel. You don't have to come up with, well, I invented the most craziest idea. No, the simplest thing makes the most money.
I totally agree. And just to touch on what you said about the girl on Twitter, I can't remember her name. I think her company is called something along the lines of Moon something cosmetic. She's quite young, actually. I think she's
very young.
Yeah, like 20. She's quite young.
Yeah.
But what I found really interesting, because when I saw it, same as you, I think I saw it on Instagram. Someone had reposted it. So I went and did some research, went on her business page, and I saw that, you know, she didn't have that many followers. I think maybe like 100 something thousand or 200. It wasn't like a crazy amount where it was like 1 million or 2 million followers. And I also noticed that her page was not verified. So what that sort of told me is that there's really no excuses. You know, sometimes with a lot of entrepreneurs, you think, oh, I have to wait for my page to be verified. I have to wait until I get 1 million followers. Like, there's always maybe some invisible benchmark that entrepreneurs have in order to, you know, think, oh, I can scale to this level. But I wish I knew her handle or her business handle so I could put it on. I can't remember now. But anyway, her whole story was really inspiring, like you said. And it actually helped me to realize that, you know, there's nothing stopping you in achieving your business dreams. You just have to be driven, have a good team, and continually iterate and execute. And, you know, because a lot of stuff on her page was actually customer feedback. People would say, oh, you know, they would send it to her and she would post it. I use this product. This is me. You know, when I started using it, this is me 2 or 3 weeks later. And that was obviously very powerful and convinced a lot of her audience to buy. So that was something I found extremely interesting. So thank you for bringing that up. Let me see if there's more questions. If not, I have one more question. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please do just write them below so I can ask. If not, I will just ask my final question that I have written down. I think we have about 5 to 7 minutes before Instagram decides that it's tired of renting us its real estate and it's time for us to go. Okay, so my question before, you know, anyone else asks is just, which do you think is the most effective social media platform for sales and conversion? Obviously, you know, Instagram has the most hype, but I know that Twitter is great for conversation. A lot of people talk about Snapchat being great for them, and TikTok, I guess, is the newest social media sensation on the block. It's getting a lot of attention. A lot of marketers and businesses are going on there to sort of trying to get a bigger audience share. But just in your opinion, which platforms, or there's Facebook as well, we can't forget Facebook, obviously. Which platform do you think is the most sort of effective?
My personal experience and in general right now, I think right now it's still Facebook and Instagram. They are the most used, most, you know, engaging platform, able to generate sales. And kind of everybody I've talked about previously, they all have heavy presence of these. But what you do is you have to be able to understand how to integrate a piece of everybody into your campaign. You have to have your Twitter stations and let people engage. And then you have your points of sales, and then you have your Instagram and Facebook advertising has been, and I say that just because I've seen my growth from, again, when we used to just be, well, we send out an email and pass out flyers, to now, like, well, we need to reach more people. Like, I can't pass more people in person. So where do I go? I have to go to the web. So I feel like you have the newbies, like the TikToks, good, because again, you have to look at every social media platform as a community. Everybody that's on Facebook, is not necessarily on Snapchat or on TikTok. So you have to create your goal. You know, if you think of your goal is you want to touch as many people as possible. And while people always like to say, well, I just like to stick on Facebook, I feel like you're being lazy. You should have a presence. Again, if you have great content is king. People will find you. They will find you. You know, like, why do things move on social media these days? It's content driven. Post something that. And again, with the brand, especially if you're a young brand that's starting, that you need to build market and build your audience, you have to be very engaging. And if it's from motivational posts, fun posts, spiritual posts, or you let them know how you feel, you know, as a brand, as a company, people, again, buy into you. So if you are joining and integrating yourself to these people, they're going to love you. And guess what? When they love you, they open their checkbooks. They're going to write and, oh, you want me to buy? I'm going to, because I like what you're doing. And that's how it is for everything that I touch on personally that I have, and I've seen others that are very successful. That's what you have to do. So even TikTok, I don't do TikTok videos, but I have an account. I've got an account on there. Yeah. So when I'm ready, people are looking, I will start adding my content, build it with our team, and do our and I feel like technology is growing. Audiences are changing. In 10 years from now, TikTok will be old, quote unquote. The next version, again, if you're in business, you're not in business to be cool. You're in it to be successful and profitable. So you have to go where people are. YouTube, extremely, extremely powerful. Very rarely touched, but YouTube is just amazing for information and for marketing. If you put up a video, guess what? And you do the right tagging and everything, Google searcher, you're going to get an audience.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, I was reading through some of the comments just now. People are saying they admire you. They admire your hustle. People are begging us that we should put this on replay so they don't miss out and they can go back and listen to all your great nuggets of advice that you've given us. I want to round up before Instagram kicks us off because I know it's just 1 hour for IG Live. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Atlanta, for being so honest, I think, also about just the sort of time you've had in business, the good times and the bad times. Because as I said earlier, when we see people who are very successful, there's a tendency to just think, oh, they're successful out of the sky and they're so lucky and blah, blah, blah.
It's very not realistic.
Yeah, not realistic. A lot of hard work does go into it, but I know that I've been gingered by your tales of $300,000, $200,000 in month.
I am this morning. Andrew. Like once you have that kind of thought process in your mind and you know it's doable, it's possible. It's literally a plan. If you can do 1,000, you can do 5. You can do 5, you can do 25, you can do 125. That's how you scale. I just know, like, anybody that's listening, I want to always encourage you, stick with people that tell you the failures, because again, it's anybody that's like, oh, I've always been successful. There's nothing they can teach you. There's nothing. I like to hear failures. That gives you your guiding point of life, like, because you know exactly which way to go. I will always tell you how I failed, how I lost money. Everything is not always profitable. But once you can pass year 1 into year 5 and you're going long term, I'm thinking already 20 years from now, what's Atlanta Greek Picnic going to look like in a year? When you do our 25th anniversary, when we're at 100,000 people, when my children are company, I'm close to that, halfway. My sons are 10 and 7. In 10 years, they're going to be of age, and they were born in the business. So learning that and legacy, but that's a whole different conversation later. But I just want people to understand that, look for people that will tell you the honest truth about failures, and you get a sense of real motivation and success.
Perfect. And if there's anyone out there who's watching, who's thinking they want to connect with you in terms of advice, pitching, what is the best way? Is your Instagram the best way to connect with people?
You like text messaging when I do at TWorks, Twitter at TWorks1, but Instagram is the best way. I'm definitely.
All right, so if you guys are out there at TWorks,
yes,
please,
at TWorks.
Terrence has plenty of money to invest. He's ready for you, so please contact him.
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And this is actually going to be on the Smartpreneur page on the what's it called? Not the story, the IGTV. So please do check back within maybe like 30 minutes, and you guys who've missed it from the beginning can rewatch just to get all the insights. All right, Tiwa, thank you so much. Give our love to the family, please, from the entire Smartpreneur team.
Peace, everybody. Bye.
Bye.